Alright, BGFH, we're back again for the, this would be episode 1, or the Shareware episode, level 7, I think? So, this is the final level before the boss, so, we get going here. But, yeah, I mean, so there were so many, just first-person shooters became so popular. Like I said, the Blood series in the last video, that was another really weird one where you had this guy that like rose from the dead, and you had all these weird weapons and stuff, and he had this melee weapon, he had a pitchfork, and I remember in that game, one of the cooler things, like you had alternate firings, alternate ammo for your weapons, and so like you had this pistol that had this incendiary ammo, and you'd like light dudes on fire, and it was like, you just see the guys running around. It was just really weird. But that was, I mean, like I said, that's really what I missed. There was just so many crazy... Did I yeah, I think I did save. I'm trying to remember if... Yeah, I think I did, but I'm going to save again just to do it. But, like I said, there were so many crazy new ideas that they were trying, and now it's like, well, let's make another World War II shooter. Let's make another modern war shooter. Okay, we'll do a space shooter, but we'll base it off of this franchise, or whatever. Some of the creativity from, you know, I guess if you're in the infancy of a medium, you can kind of, you know, no one's tried stuff, so you can afford to try more, but I really wish some of the, you know, I mean, not to say that the games now are bad. I mean, there's some awesome games out right now. But I do just miss some of these more off-the-wall ideas that you would get back in the early days. There's just some weird stuff. And I miss that. Whoa, and we have a shotgun guy that I hear trying to fire at me. There we go. You will not kill me, Mr. Shotgun Guy. The hell? Where are you? Oh! Hi, how's it going? Okay, we get our key. Cool. God, so many shooters. I'm trying to... Oh, there you are. You're down there. Bastard. Took a lot of health away. Oh, well. I'm trying to think of any really memorable... I mean, I know I'll think of tons more later when I'm done recording this, but, I mean, there were just so many games back then. Even some of the modern ones, like No One Lives Forever. God, if I can get that game to work... You know, all these games that, you know, they're doing these HD remixes, I would love to see Monolith come back and do a... They had No One Lives Forever and a No One Lives Forever 2. I would love a tweaked HD version of that with a little bit better controls and stuff. I would love a remake of that game, because that was... The No One Lives Forever series was sort of this female James Bond parody-ish that was just funny. I mean, that was just a great game. Again, I don't know how well it'll play on some of these modern machines. I know I tried playing it one time and it sort of worked, but not really well. Like, it would crash a lot and stuff. So if I can get that to work, I may have to try to cover that one of these days, because that was a cool game. I really remember liking that. Let's see. What color key do I have? Oh, yellow key. Okay. Yellow key. Where is my yellow door that I don't remember? Ah, here we go. Perfect. But yeah, so like I said, all the Doom clones and first-person shooters, I mean, every first-person shooter pretty much builds on what Doom and Wolfenstein 3D started. I can't finish this Let's Play without talking a little bit about the controversy that Doom also started. or helped start. I won't pin it all on Doom because that wouldn't be fair. But a lot of people would mention Doom in lawsuits and stuff. And for the longest time, I don't hear it as much anymore, but I know for the yeah, see some dude, yep, some guy just got killed. So somebody must have hit somebody else and they were fighting, and one of them got killed. Nice. Kill this guy over here, come on. Yeah. Until fairly recently, games have moved on a lot past Doom. But, I mean, even, I would say 5-6 years ago, you get these lawsuits that would be like, well, and people are playing violent games like Doom. These ignorant lawyers and politicians and stuff. The devil. I mean, Jack Thompson. But, I mean, just all these people that just, they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, they just go by what everybody else is saying, and then, like I said, they're even in like 2002, 2005, cases were still citing Doom as as the violent games that people were playing. Well, yeah, okay, Doom is pretty violent, but you look at some games past then, and they've become way more violent. I mean, Doom is tame. By today's standards, Doom is tame. Oh, that's another one I forgot about. Soldier of Fortune. Not the greatest game, but oh man, that game was messed up. Its claim to fame was, and this kind of ties into, like I said, kind of what I'm talking about too, is that there were games that were super violent. I mean, some of them even got canceled, but like Soldier of Fortune, I remember you could have, like, if you had a shotgun, you would shoot a guy, and probably in a way, more realistically, if you shot a guy point blank with a shotgun, they would be messed up. This game, you would shoot, and you could see, like, if you did like a gut shot, you would see they would grab their stomach, and you'd see intestines kind of flowing out, or you'd shoot their head off. I mean, it was super bloody. Almost uncomfortably so. But, I mean, they could have easily be compared, to games like that. Carmageddon, which is another game that I'd like to cover at some point, also just came out on Good Old Games. This is a racing game where you could either win the races by actually winning the race, going through the checkpoints. You could, kind of do a demolition derby type thing and just destroy all the cars in the race, basically leaving you the only survivor. Or each level was in like a city or a mountain area or like a foundry or whatever, and there were civilians everywhere, and you could also win, which was pretty much impossible, but you could win by running over all the pedestrians in the level, which is crazy. But you could also, even if you didn't do that, your race was timed, so if you like ran over pedestrians or did some damage to a car, that's how you would get your time back. So I mean, these were just incredibly, games like this, they really got the whole rating system implemented. Mortal Kombat, Doom, a lot of these types of games, Carmageddon, a lot of these games were banned in some countries, and I think still are. Or if they're not banned, they're heavily modified, where, oh, I forget what game it was. Well, Carmageddon, I think a lot of the guys, they were either turned into zombies or something that had like pink or green blood or something. I know there were some shooters, I think in Germany, their common thing was to turn them into robots. So you weren't actually killing people, you were killing robots. But some countries just flat out banned the games. But Doom specifically, Doom would be the game that was, Doom and Mortal Kombat especially, were the two that were, I would think, most often cited for oh, corruption for our kids, and you know, that we're blamed for everything. You know, horrible, horrible situation, Columbine shootings. But if I remember, one of the things was that they were saying that the kid, they would build levels, which you could do, but they would, they said that, they would build levels of their school in Doom, and Doom would teach them how to practice shooting and all that kind of stuff. And so all that stuff was going through the courts, and then, everyone else kind of picked up onto that. And like I said, Doom is really the scapegoat of the industry, I think, for the longest time. I think once Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, that took over a lot of, I would say that took over a lot of Doom's blame, because now you had, full 3D Grand Theft Auto, you could run around, steal cars, run over dudes. They made a big thing about all the, the hookers that were in the game you could pick up and get health back, and then, and the goal is to run them over and get your money back. You could do that, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, you could do that, but that wasn't the goal of the game. But that's kind of what they were trying to sell, is that this is a, a crime and, murder simulator, and teaching people to get prostitutes and, kill them and all that kind of stuff. So it's just, games like Doom and a lot of these other ones that I've mentioned since, they have really... Where the hell am I? I mean, they helped start the ESRB. The government said, hey, you better create a rating system, or we're going to create one for you. And, now we have what has become the ESRB, the rating system. Come on. Kill him. Screw him. I know the shotgun's not meant for this long distance, but yeah, so I mean, like I said, just games like this, a lot of controversy, people use them a lot in a lot of court cases, and it seems like every few months, websites or podcasts, there's always some topic about video game violence or the content in video games. I do find it really, this is kind of a side note, but I really do find it interesting that... I'm going to try something here. I may have to reload. Crap, can I not... I thought I could make this go down again. Come on, go down. Shoot, maybe I can't anymore. If I go down here... There we go. Okay, I want to go up here. Oh, come on, you won't let me off? Let me see if I can... Damn it! I was trying to see if I can get into that poison, because I think if I were able to, I think I can get a mega health. Okay, there's my suit. But one thing that I really find funny is, every few months that they're gonna come out with some... Yes, here it is. Sweet. Okay, and I get back in here. Awesome. So, every few months there's some talk about this violence in video games, or something like that, or the content in video games. But what I find interesting is just the fact that even though they're rated, the games are rated, there is a lot of violence in video games. I mean, I play a lot of violent games myself. I mean, look at a lot of the Let's Plays that I do. Yeah, there are a lot of first-person shooters. And I do play a lot more than just first-person shooters. It's just one of my genres that I really happen to like. But yes, I do like first-person shooters. But what I find really interesting is that, yeah, you can have all of that, yet the barest mention of something remotely sexual in a game is not covered. So even if a game was trying to do it intelligently, like a couple of years ago, or a few years ago now, the original Mass Effect, you know, part of the game was you could, you know, get in a romantic relationship with one of the other non-playable characters in your party. And depending on, you know, who you did, you know, you could choose different people. And there was this whole, you know, stink in the news about, oh, well, there's a sex scene in there, and it's terrible, and kids are going to see this. And, well, for one, it's an M-rated game. That's a whole other topic in itself, which I'll get to in a minute. But it wasn't, you know, I've played Mass Effect. I've beat the trilogy. I love the series. And I had the scene that they were talking about. All it was is, okay, it showed them, you know, just... It showed them, you know, I mean, they didn't show any sexual content. I mean, the closest thing that it was just, I think the main, or the one woman character, there was a little bit of side boob. That's it. I mean, nothing more graphic than that. And I mean, it was actually, you know, tastefully done. I mean, there are TV shows that are worse than that. So, you know, anything sexual is taboo. You can kill as many people as you want, but God forbid you want to, you know, God forbid you want to do anything, you know, sexual, even if it is done intelligently. That's terrible, you know. Death is good, but, you know, I rest my case. And all these, you know, arguments come down to everyone is trying to blame somebody else and get a lawsuit and, you know, blame somebody for someone else's ineptitude. I mean, really what it comes down to, bottom line, is there's always been violence. You go back to the Roman Colosseums, you go back to any kind of primitive society. There's been violence all the time. We've survived. It just so happens that, yeah, now it's video games instead of people actually going into a Colosseum and getting eaten by lions and cut up by each other and all that kind of stuff. So, you know... And a lot of, you know, especially since the rating system, these games aren't meant for kids. They're rated M for a reason, people. You know, they're rated T, they're rated M, T for teen, M for mature. That does not mean, you know, 6-year-old Johnny should play it. Duh. That's, you know, a lot of them do. And that's really what it comes down to, is it's up to the parents. If you had good parenting, we wouldn't have these arguments. Like I said, I think I mentioned in another video, I've watched R-rated movies. I've played probably, you know, I mean, I played violent games, and I played Doom in junior high school. My parents knew about it, but they also knew that I knew the difference between fiction and reality. I knew, you know, they knew that I knew that if I pointed a gun at someone and I shot somebody, they would die. If I stabbed somebody, they were gonna get hurt. They could die. You know, like I said, I watched, you know, I remember watching, the original, like, Freddy Krueger movies, Nightmare on Elm Street movies, especially the first one with my babysitter when I was like 5. Okay, but we'll continue this, we'll wrap this up in the next level here. How did we do? Not bad. Not terrible, but not bad. And we'll see you next time.